Talk a little bit. Talk a little bit.
Check.
Talk a little bit.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, wait. I got it at a nice energy
Hell yeah.
conscious 81 degrees in my room.
Oh, you love to see it. All right.
The other
Good evening
day.
and
Shit. Okay, never mind.
good evening and welcome to another exciting episode of Goth Yearbook After Hours. Bonus.
Bonus.
It is I, your host as always, Eric, aka the Eric Wynn, and with us as always is that hostess with the mostest, Caitlin, aka the Caitlin D. Caitlin, how's it going?
You know what, Eric? I've been better. This is exclusive content. I can be a little bit real, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you want to talk about
No, I don't want to talk about it.
People are just gonna assume the worst, like, the cancer's back.
Jesus, Eric.
Well, this is one of our bonus Patreon episodes. Clearly, by the quality of content, this is clearly the ones that you pay for.
Uh-huh.
So we reached out to friends and family and followers and listeners to the show to get some questions in. And what do you say, Caitlin? Should we just jump right into this?
Unless you have more, unless you want to talk about your emotional state.
Oh, no. That's for the top tier Patreon. That's for
the
30,
bonus,
yeah.
the bonus episodes. Yeah, they
it's my
can.
Therapist. I pay
yeah,
them. It's actually my therapist has a Patreon tiered.
I know. That's funny. I actually literally thought about that today earlier because I was like, what are we doing tonight on the episode? And then I was like, maybe I'll just be really honest and talk about how I've been feeling. And it's been like a struggle. And then I was like, no.
Like, fuck that.
That's not good entertainment.
Not yet.
I'll be fine.
We'll wait till we have a guest on to do that.
Yeah, someone really important, and I just like take 25 minutes in the beginning to be like, I'm just really struggling because I tried to move to the beach and it like didn't work out.
So Barack Obama, come on in. I'm muting you. Oh, Obama, you're still muted. All right, let's get to one of these right now. Well, let's play this one. We were listening to it. We were kind of testing with it, but I want to see where it was going. I didn't really get a chance to listen to any of these, so here we go.
Do you ever think about the song Santa Baby? Like, why is this woman wanting to sleep with Santa? Santa, of all people, certainly not the most attractive character. Why? What does she see in Santa that turns her on so much?
Well, first of all, let's not shame Santa.
I mean, he's daddy bear bod, basically. He's got like the whole daddy bear thing going on. He's got a big beard. He's a big teddy bear looking dude. You know, some people like all that. Plus, he's magic. And he's married, and that's some people are into that.
Absolutely. He
emotionally unavailable.
Type
that's my shit.
Type A personality. He checks the list twice. He's not lazy about it. And you know what? Now that I think about it, there's like a lot of, caught him kissing your mom. He hangs out with like a lot of like colorfully dressed people. Like Santa was like the original Feb profile, basically.
Yeah. Visits children in the middle of the night.
No, okay, this song.
You just didn't. You weren't paying attention to me at all when I said that.
But then it registered, and I was like, "Oh, that's fucked up."
It is fucked up. That is the one fetish that we will absolutely judge. We draw a hard line on that.
Yeah.
Also, he's a gift giver.
Yeah, and who doesn't love that? Or at least
I do.
Gift
I
receivers.
sure do. By the way, if you want my Amazon wish list.
that song in particular, actually, to kind of bring it back to the song itself, I always assumed that was her like being playful to like her partner, and like her partner is like Santa. Or but I feel like most people take it literally. But I've always just assumed it's like, you know, it's like her sugar daddy or some shit, and she calls him Santa around the holidays.
That's interesting because I have actually always interpreted it the same way that Will has and been like, this bitch really wants to bone Santa.
Who's Will?
That was Will, right?
No, that was not
That
Will,
caller
actually.
was not Will.
That was not Will.
Who was that?
That was, I don't know how much of the anonymity will break on all these people, but for that one I will. That was my longtime best friend, Miles, Mr. Miles N, I'll say. Oh my gosh, we actually have a call that's coming in live.
I bet I know who it is.
Should we accept?
Yeah.
I think I accidentally just hung up on them. Tell them if you know who it is, tell them to call back in. I've never accepted one on the desktop before. We're doing this live, folks. We're doing this live. We'll fix all this in the post. All right, so let's get to another one while we're waiting for that person to call in.
My question is, if you had to wear one accessory every day for the rest of your life, what would it be?
This is gonna sound really stupid, but like, what constitutes, like, would my glasses, if they're a necessity, are they still considered an accessory?
Yeah, but let's not do like things that you would
Need.
need to survive. Yeah.
Okay. That's a hard one.
Oh, that wasn't who I thought. So that was a live call, just random.
Oh man, live caller.
If you're
please.
listening, call back.
Yeah.
We'll answer. Eric fumbled it.
I did fumble it.
Accessories. Do you have something?
No, I don't really wear logs. I don't really wear like accessories too much. Is a belt an accessory? No, but see.
I don't know. I never wear jewelry or really accessorize, and that's primarily, it's twofold. There's two reasons. For one, I don't like the way it feels on my skin, and I just feel like it just starts irritating me right away. And people who like sleep in their rings and like have all these bracelets and like
what a
all that stuff, I'm just like, don't you feel shackled? And I think it has to do with me having a past life as a prisoner.
Interesting.
Which
is that one of your? Do you feel like in a past life you were imprisoned?
So I have one past life that I have had some memories from. I remember being a little boy, and I think it's like why I like have such a strong aversion to violence, and that like part of my life calling in this life has been to like do healing work on people's bodies, because I think I actually like fought in, you know, battles and stuff, and I believe I was taken prisoner and then tortured to death, and that one of the tortures they did was like the splitting open my calves.
Oh my God, Jesus.
Because I learned this early on, if I get a massage and they touch my calves and they do that thing where they like go right up the center of the calf muscle, you know, my whole body goes into fight or flight, and I want to like fight the person. I want to like, my blood starts pumping. I get angry. Like I get hot. I'll like have to like resist the urge to kick them in the face, and it just like, it's not that it hurts, it's just like I feel like I have to defend myself suddenly.
That's fucked up.
So that has nothing to do with accessories. You get what?
During massages I get that way when they start touching my toes. I like immediately like I get like very like something happens. I actually always make a specific request when I go in. I say don't touch my feet.
They're probably like, thank God.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite area to work on.
Do you want to hear some real shit? This is like some real shameful shit. I can't believe I'm going to say this.
Yeah.
So I like to manicure. I like to keep everything clean and cut and crisp and all that. The one thing, and many people in my life will attest to this, the one area that I always fail to keep up with in a timely manner is my toenails, because I just like always forget about them since they're so far away from my eyes. And I always forget about them. But I always make a point to like trim everything up before I go get a massage. And at the one I went to recently, I forgot to tell them beforehand, don't touch my feet, and I forgot to clip my toenails before I went. And
Oh no.
she was like doing that thing, because like they're bringing all the pressure to the foot to like release it to the foot gods. And I could actually feel her, like, when she got to her foot, I could feel her, she grabbed my foot, and I could feel that she, like, actually stopped. And I could feel that it was, like, not, like, stopping because it was, like, now, like, Mother Gaia told me I had to stop. I could tell because she was, like, taking him back for a second.
She was like, God damn my fucking life. Yeah, my trick, what I do is I take like the hot towels
Mm-hmm.
and I like put like peppermint essential oil. It feels all fucking good. And then I wrap the feet in them. And then I'll just do some pressure points through the towels. And then like they don't even realize that I haven't actually massaged their feet by the end of it. That's usually about as far as I'm willing to go, unless there's like specific work that I think needs to be done. But otherwise it's just like, especially now, I don't know, it's like we release so many toxins through our feet. They are like dirty compared to the rest of the body. It's just like not worth it to like be cradling someone's foot in the middle of a pandemic. I don't think you can get COVID through the bottom of someone's foot, but you can probably lower your immunity somehow. I don't know.
Do you
Anyway, accessories though. Do I what?
Do you, out of curiosity, do you do this? Because they do this at the one place I go to. They always do this one maneuver, and it fucking throws me off every single time. But they actually, like, one of the very first things they do, like, when I'm face down, is, like, they literally get on top of the table, and they, like, on their knees, like, they'll kind of, like, walk up my, like, legs, like, on, like, their knee points. And it, like, throws me off every single time.
It's like a Thai massage thing.
Oh, okay, here they come.
This, I think this is who I thought it was originally.
Oh no, I might not be able to because I think I have to like set something up, unfortunately. That isn't set up yet. Let's try. Hold on. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to. I have to go set up like my mic for it, I guess. Ugh, there's always something. Oh wait, are you there? Hello? No.
Just me. Yeah, sorry if you're trying to call in. We will figure out that feature at some point.
I didn't even know that was a thing that could happen. So,
but leave us a voicemail if you're listening, and we'll play it on the next round. I do want to get back to this person's question, which is accessories. So I don't really wear accessories, and if I do wear them, I lose them, and so I would never be so precious to one accessory as to be. But you know what? It would probably be like a scrunchie or something practical like that, like just in case, it would, that I think that would be a practical good one to have.
Yeah. I realize now I always wear my chain. It'd be my chain. I fuck with my chain every single day. So that's my accessory. Solid, great first question. Actually, we had the Santa one. Alright, so a real professional show we got going on here.
Riveting content, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's get to this next one.
Hey, I have 2 questions for everyone. My first question is cereal soup hot topic? All right. The second one is, what secret conspiracy do you wish you could start? Thanks.
That's a good one.
That is a good one.
The first one is kind of just like a subjective sort of thing. I personally don't think. I think if I was making the rules of food and they were like decreed and they were written on like a loaf of sourdough bread, it would be like soups are hot.
What
and
about
savory.
gazpacho,
And savory.
though?
And savory.
But what about gazpacho?
What about her?
That's a cold soup.
I don't. I guess that's true, but savory. It is savory, right?
Yeah, but then what about like a butternut squash, ginger turmeric soup?
But that still has like a savoriness to it. While all cereal, is there any cereal that you can think of that is savory and that isn't just all sweet? See, I think that should be like, if we were dividing the kingdoms
You could put like
up,
Cheez-Its in a bowl and just pour Pepsi on them.
What's your thoughts then?
Is that soup?
Do you think cereal
Yeah,
is
no.
soup?
I don't think that you can just start calling anything in a bowl that like is liquid soup.
Yeah.
Or I think that there have to be some rules. And while I do think that maybe I think if there were vegetables involved, maybe I would say. But it seems like I can't think of a single soup that doesn't have vegetables involved.
That's true. Yeah. I guess even clam chowder. I know, riveting. I was trying to think about it. Someone in the chat said kind
Yeah.
cereal, which I didn't even know that we had a chat. So I'm learning all sorts of. This is a night of we're learning a lot on this one. What was
by
the
the
second?
way, my our friend Matt Stotch has been texting me like furiously because he was the one trying to call in, and he really wants me to share the pun "sugar cookie daddy" in regards to Santa.
Oh boy.
He's losing his mind. Thank
Damn.
you, Matt.
Yeah, we love you, buddy. Someone said, oh, it might be even him. Bone soup is what he says in the chat.
Bone soup is delicious. I had some of that earlier this week. I had some beef pho. And they made that overnight bone broth.
I like it.
Good stuff.
What was? I don't remember what the second question was.
I don't either.
Hold on. There's a little transcript. I think it was something about soup.
No, the first one was about soup.
Oh, what secret conspiracy do you wish you could start?
Ooh, Do you have any answer for that off the top, off the dome?
I feel like I want to my brain is naturally wanting to take it to a holiday thing. Like Santa was actually started because such and such and such.
I think that's probably just because we just had a Santa caller.
But it is that time of year. Have you noticed a lot of people? I feel like people are just needing Christmas and the holidays in general sooner. It seems like.
That happens every year. It's always right the day after Halloween is Christmas.
I actually this year is crazy. I was at a Macy's in the middle of October, and they had already set up this mailbox thing where it's send a letter to Santa, and they already had all their Christmas decorations up in the middle of October.
No, I feel like I see that shit all the time though. I honestly went to the Grove thinking that there was gonna be some or not the Grove, but whatever the other one is, the Americana, thinking there was gonna be some Christmas shit going on, and it wasn't quite in full swing yet.
Mm-hmm.
But it is in little corners. It's just, it's just capitalism doing capitalism and making us feel the things. I did notice Starbucks already has red and white cups going on.
Oh yeah, I saw that today as well. Maybe there's a soup conspiracy that was started by cereal, Big Cereal. That
petition to make big cereal soup.
Yeah, maybe my friend who sent this in, maybe she works for the big cereal conglomerate, and she's just trying to get her soup money. In which case,
honestly, after QAnon, I'm kind of done with conspiracies. I just want people to be able to understand that reality is, while it is, an illusion to some degree, we do, for the common good, need to decide on some common reality. And right now, we're all living in a bunch of different universes.
Yeah.
Have you seen, there's this is actually kind of really sad, but there's a QAnon support group on Reddit. I can't remember what the subreddit is. It's QAnon Fallout or something like that.
For people who are moving away from it.
It's for people who have lost partners and parents and to this QAnon conspiracy because they just they're just not living in the same reality anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And it's honestly look it up if I don't know, search QAnon support subreddit. You'll find it. It's really heartbreaking because people will be like, yeah, like my girlfriend started getting into, like, we were both into conspiracy theories, and like at first I thought it was like kind of fun, but then I don't know, like now she like genuinely thinks that like whatever they believe, I can't even retain it in my brain, but that like we're just all being marched to some, it's like flat earth.
No,
Like
yeah, I
if
get
you
it,
actually
yeah.
start poking holes in it, like it doesn't, nobody has any idea what they're talking about, but it's just like, like you can't, are you sure about that? You sure about that? Oh, that's what you think is going on, you fucking sheep. You
I-
know, and just
Yeah, I do think there's something charming about the idea of like this couple who like first started like seeing each other maybe at the beginning of this year, and they're like, it was kind of fun. Like we were talking about QAnon a lot. Like that was like they were like really hyped on each other in the beginning. But Scotch in the chat said QAnon in regards to conspiracy about food, which I appreciate. All right, let's get to another one.
Okay, I came up with one more question. If animals could talk, what animal do you think would be the rudest? Thanks.
Cats are pretty fucking.
I was gonna say that's just a total no-brainer.
Is there any other besides cats? Because cats just have like that natural sort of like flippant sort of fuck you vibe. But like, there's other animals that must have that kind of.
Yeah. I mean, any larger form of cat as well. I feel like maybe
Certain birds. Some birds have like that attitude where they're just kind of like, I don't give a fuck.
yeah, definitely birds. Birds especially because they don't, like, cats have like a soft side, you know? Like you can win over a cat. I don't know. It's like harder. I don't know if you can emotionally connect to a bird, you know? Like you
Yeah.
can definitely like form a companionship maybe with a bird that's based on like rewards and you know, mutual security and whatever, but not I don't know about mutual, but
Yeah.
and if you're like a Mongolian child and living in the wilderness maybe and like hunting with falcons,
That'd be sick.
yeah, but horses I feel like can have that
Oh
going on.
yeah, actually, that always cracks me up when, because you know, like people have such deep connection to horses, and no hate on that. But it always cracks me up because horses seem so like fucking uninterested in human beings.
I mean, horses are fascinating. I am one of those people that totally will like run next to a pasture and see if the pony will come towards me.
I thought you were just gonna say I'm one of those people who just run with horses. It's like
I
what?
wish, man. But I love like sort of the camaraderie you can develop with the horse in a small amount of time because like you're totally putting your life in their hooves. And like I like that, but also like, yeah, if they don't feel like doing something, they're just like fuck off, and they have all the power in that situation for the most part, unless you're being cruel. So yeah, I think they're not. I think they don't really. Yeah, I like their attitude, but I mean, cats are gonna take the cake in this question. It's a no-brainer.
I'll go to some of the written ones we have because we have plenty of voicemails, but I want to make sure we get to some of the written ones. Friend of the show, Alex of Goof Troopers fame, wants to know. They sent a couple kind of quick ones. They want to know, how do we feel about bananas?
They're fucking bananas.
That I don't know if that's what. I'll say right now. I think bananas fucking rock. I love them, and I like them both ripe and not ripe.
Unripe.
Yeah,
Like zombies. They're undead. They're unripe. Yeah, no, I love bananas too. I think they're great. I like to freeze them. I like to bake with them. I like to just if I mean, I have failed to feed myself in several hours and I suddenly realize it. I just can just grab a banana and shove it in my mouth. It's fun to watch monkeys eat them.
Oh my god, yeah.
It's fun to watch elephants eat them because they just grab the whole thing and shove the whole thing in their mouth, the whole bunch. I actually saw a video today on Reddit where a bus was robbed by an elephant. It stopped them in the road and then it reached in with its trunk and grabbed a whole bunch of bananas.
That's so great. I love that. That's so wholesome. One of my I think we might have talked about this on like the Shamir episode, the first Shamir episode, but man, that scene in Dumbo when his mom's trunk's like outside the fucking like train cart and she's like fucking cradling him with her trunk. That's like an all-timer fucked up like bummer moment in a movie.
I have chosen to remove the memory of Dumbo from my brain because it was too traumatic. I know I've seen it and I remember when I was seeing it. Like I can remember like it's like when we were reading the Goosebumps books and like all these visceral memories will pop up when I'm like thinking about it. But I remember even at that age being like, fuck this movie, I never want to watch this again.
She wanted to also know, would you rather have a peanut? Oh wait, I wanted to know real quickly, brown or green?
What?
Banana. Do you prefer the more
Brown
on the
or
green side?
banana? Yellow. Fucking weirdo.
Just middle of the road. You don't have, but I guess what I'm getting at though is like, if you see it more green or if you see it more brown, which one are you more likely to like grab from the bin?
I mean, it depends on my mood, and it depends on the timing. And throw it in my cereal, whatever. I don't like when they're too gross, but then if they start to go like brown, I'll usually just peel them out and stick them in the freezer, make smoothies with them.
My as I've talked on the show before, I grew up in going to like religious schools and stuff like that, and I totally forgot about this until just now. But Kirk Cameron, do you know who Kirk Cameron is? He was the main son on Growing Pains, and he grew up to become like very ultra Christian. He makes like a lot of like Christian films these days, and his sister is plays like one of the main daughters on Full House. Anywho, he has this video series though all about like the proof of God's existence, and one of them, like their big like, it's like the whole video is all about how like God's existence is proof in the banana design, because they're like, nature couldn't like design the banana, like it had to be a like intelligent designer for you to be able to like hold it and peel it. And that's like, I swear to God, it's like a 40-minute video about that. And he's like,
wow,
it's him and like a Christian scientist of sorts, like both sitting there and they're like shaking their heads like, like that's
I mean, to some extent though, I do kind of like vibe with that line of reasoning to some extent, because I do think that some people that are like overly cynical about there being any sort of order to the universe overlook a lot of like how impressive it is just by all the probabilities of everything working out, that we should like grow intelligent life on a planet that sustains us with oxygen, like all the chemicals we need and all the energy we need, and that we have all this like complexity in our daily lives. I think it goes beyond the banana. I think like literally everything that a human being does is a fucking miracle. And if that's, it's proof enough of, if not God, of some sort of like order in the chaos.
It more so, it always makes me laugh because it's such a like fucking middle finger to like science and nature and like everything else, where it's just like, nature couldn't possibly create a banana. It's like, damn, fuck you. I guess fuck nature.
Yeah, like nature created you. Nature created every complexity there is. My favorite banana moment was, I remember watching the news one time. This was probably like 15 years ago or something. And one of the funniest news segments I ever saw was just this brief little segment on how food production companies had experimented with wrapping bananas in plastic, and they discarded this process because they realized that bananas already came in wrapping.
Wow. That was on the news?
It was different times, yeah.
Oh, that's incredible. I do miss like,
I think Bush was president.
I do miss like an era of society where like the news had bountiful moments to be like chipmunk parade in town, like a lot of like just so many fluff pieces, because there was only so many tragedies back then. It wasn't like wall to wall where it was like, we have to figure out which tragedy is getting cut from tonight's show.
Yeah, like intrigue at the local zoos. Yeah. Penguin Susan seems to have found an extramarital romance.
Yeah.
more after this break.
The person on site, it's like they always cut to them and they're immediately laughing like, Susan, it's never been wilder here. Like, what a glorious time. One other question from Alex that I wanted to hit. It's a good one. Would you rather have a penis for a nose or a vagina for a mouth?
I'm gonna have to go with the vagina for a mouth.
Why is that?
I wouldn't want to get boners all the time on my face. I think. It would
Oh, then people think you're lying when you start like.
Yeah.
That'd be funny. I didn't even think about that.
It would be really. I mean, you'd have to eat a lot of bananas if you had a vagina for a mouth.
I like that.
That's literally
actually.
all you could eat.
That's actually good reasoning.
What about you?
I think I think you swayed me. At first, I was gonna go with penis as the nose because I was like, I feel like you could slightly get away with that. But now that I think about it, you're right. Like if you started to, you have like you're gonna get like a little curtain partition to like constantly hide like little nose boners, and sneezing seems like that would be very like I don't know, erotic, weird in front of family. Then how's the sneezing work?
Yeah. Also, like when you get your period, if it's your mouth, like that's kind of goth as fuck.
Yeah, it's like metal, like you're on stage.
Uh-huh.
Let's get another V-mail.
Hey, first time, long time here. I just wanted to ask the goth lady, fuck, marry, kill, Alvin, Simon, Theodore. I'll take my answer off the air. Thank you very much.
Now, which
Wait,
one of us
am
is the
I-
goth lady? Did he mean me?
I think so. I'm having trouble mentally picturing the chipmunks and enough to distinguish them. But let me pull up an image. These are chipmunks, right?
Yeah, Alvin was like the, front and center, the kind of the wild child, but also like the talented one.
Oh no. The first
Simon-
internet search for chipmunks, I thought I could just search chipmunks, but it was for poisons to eradicate them.
Oh my god. They've been stealing too many of our hula hoops.
Okay, so Alvin seems like kind of the fuck boy.
Oh yeah. Simon's like the
Okay.
smart one. Simon's
Uh-huh.
and like a little cynical in a hot way. That's who I choose for
Mhm.
my. I don't know. We'll get there. And then Theodore's
Yeah.
like the kind of like, hey guys, like the sweet innocent one, and a little bit shorter.
Yeah. No offense to Theodore, because I mean he's probably a simp, and I'm
He's
trying to
getting
marry a
killed
simp
for
out
sure.
here.
He's
Yeah,
getting
he's
killed for
getting
sure.
killed. Marry the smart one and fuck Alvin.
Yeah, I think that's perfectly laid out.
Sorry, we couldn't take your answers off the air.
Did you ever watch the
It's not how voicemails work.
in my household, like one of the big rotating VHS tapes was the Chipmunks movie, where it was like the chipmunks and the chipettes are like racing around the globe in the hot air balloons. It was like late 80s, early 90s. Did you ever see that?
I did. I vaguely remember it. I remember liking it and watching it. I can remember going to my neighbor's house and watching it. I just don't remember it beyond that.
I remember it pretty good because I still watch it. There's a sick ass song in it too where they're both like, it's like the girls versus the boys, and it's like, we are the boys of rock and roll, and then the girls like, no, we are the girls of rock and roll, and it's fucking sick. It's so
Hell
good.
yeah.
Okay, I almost just read the transcript.
My question is, if you could share a meal one-on-one with anyone, dead or alive, who would it be?
I think it's Simon. Little chipmunk
What?
by the name of
Simon.
Man, you know what? They always say this, but like, I'm like fiercely one of those people where I'm like, I don't want to meet like my heroes or my icons because that would be like the worst thing where you find out that they're an asshole or this or that.
Well, like, what if you choke on your food and
They don't save you.
No, I mean, like, literally, what if it's one of those moments where, like, you kind of inhale something and you're trying to pretend you're fine? Like, your eyes are watering, your face is turning red, and, like, you keep trying to have the conversation,
Mhm.
but, like, they're just, like, getting more and more worried about you, and they're kind of trying to pretend that nothing's happening, but they have nothing else to focus on. And you can, like, whole fucking die that way.
Who, dinner aside, who is like a famous person where you're like, fuck it, like I would want to meet them, and like if it went bad, like so be it, but like I would want to meet them.
I mean, I would fucking love to. This is such a basic ass answer, but I keep thinking of it like Johnny Cash, especially like in his later years before like I just feel like he was so like charming and witty in a way. But this is just based on a dream I had about him.
I knew
No,
you were-
I also read his autobiography, but I feel like he would just have some really good stories.
I knew you were gonna say him. I figured it would be either him or Dolly, and I would honestly pick either of them. Either I would love that kind of person where I knew that they had like stories for days, and that they like
Mhm.
again a recent theme, but like masters of storytelling. People who fucking respect that.
Dolly,
fucking
yeah,
art.
I feel like Dolly or RuPaul would be amazing. Like I'm gonna put RuPaul in there because I feel like he's on that level of Dolly where like I would just leave that meal like ready to fucking take on my demons.
Yeah.
And just overcome all the challenges in my life. And either one of them I feel like would be great kind of therapists. But Johnny Cash I would want to just get like fucking drunk with.
Yeah. I now that I'm really thinking about it, the other person, John Waters, and apparently he is very like notorious like in Baltimore that like every year around the holidays he'll host like a big like holiday dinner at his house, and he'll bring like a lot of eccentric people there, and it's like apparently if you get invited it's like a real like honor kind of thing, but it's always like kind of a lot of weirdos like musicians and artists and scriptwriters and things like that. And I just imagine him like having like so many ridiculous, gross stories, but like telling them in like that super like charming and weird John sort of way, John Waters sort of way. I don't know. I think that's what I'd pick.
That's such a cliche that I can see him adhering to, the like having a mysterious dinner party kind of thing, and I just picture it happening in this big like Clue kind of mansion, with like butlers and stuff, and then like someone gets murdered in the middle of it.
Tim Curry back in the day, I also would have loved to fucking fuck yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of maybe like someone more mystical but I don't know.
Okay, I got one.
Okay.
Good eye,
Oh,
mate.
another.
I've got a question for you. Would you rather have a toenail on the end of your
That
penis,
didn't last long.
or to have to clean Steve Bannon's folds with your tongue? I'll take my answer off the air. Thank you.
Who is this?
Shouts out After Hours guest number 1, Taylor Vincent of Denver, Colorado.
I like these questions. So it was a toenail. What was it?
Would you rather have a toenail on the end of your penis, or to have to clean Steve Bannon's folds with your tongue?
I mean, I'll have to go with toenail at the end of
Yeah.
my penis because I don't have a penis.
How many times?
Cop out.
Is it just a one-time cleaning? One-time cleaning, that's, versus like a lifetime of what could be like
Filing down your penis. You could get a cute little gel mani.
you're like,
What if you got it sharpened to like a point, like a real bad bitch?
yeah, you I'm just picturing like a bunch of guys like that becomes like a super trend, and they're like walking down the street and just like showing them off, but like immediately a police pulls them over like you can't do that. I got go on.
I wouldn't want to clean anyone's folds with my tongue, but I also feel like it's not fair. I'm imagining like a fingernail on, if I possessed a partner who had a penis, that would make the question harder, but I don't have that either, so I don't know.
Someone wants to know, hotline
Mhm.
question, bear versus shark, who wins? I mean, it's also kind of a nod to the band, Bear versus Shark. But I think they also want to know, bear versus shark, who do you think wins?
I think it really depends on the energy and the training and the motivations
Training.
of either contestant.
True.
What is it? Bear versus shark?
Yeah, just what gut
Oh, but
instinct though? Who
I
wins?
would probably say shark. I
Yeah.
feel like it would just be easier to drown the bear, and the bear might have a hard time dragging the shark out of water.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Like no matter what, I think like he just is kind of like on the shore swiping at, but eventually like the shark can kind of like maybe nip at and bring into the water.
But if that bear was like motivated by like that shark ate his family when he was young, and he was like
The
he
Revenant.
fucking he
That's a
fucking
bear.
lived his life like swimming,
Yeah.
just like getting agile in the water, and maybe he came to the fight prepared.
That would be funny. It's like a 4-year montage of like training like all the Rocky movies. Like he's getting so in shape, and then like he finally is ready. It's the day of, and like within seconds, the shark like bites off one of his legs.
Oh,
I'm
Aw.
I'm actually bumming hard because I'm picturing that Sleepy Time bear being the one. In the
Oh no, the sleepy time bear. Maybe
he
he could give the shark some sleepy time tea and make the shark fall asleep and then attack.
Winnie the Pooh like just trying to like coax them with honey, and a lot of the bears that like are revolved around like food type stuff. Tony, wait, that's Tony the Tiger. I was about to say Tony the Bear with fruit, with whatever that shit's called.
With Fruit Loops, Tony the bear with the Fruit Loops.
I'm really fucked up now. I can't. Let's see what this one is.
Caitlin and Eric, my question is, do you guys watch porn? And if so, what is your favorite porn website?
It's so funny. I saw the
Very
number.
important.
Oh,
Thank you.
my bad. I thought this was Scotch actually because I saw the number and it looked like the number that I've been trying to call in. I think this was the first caller that tried to call in actually.
Oh,
that-
really?
Yeah, I don't know who
Damn.
this is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I watch porn. I go to YouPorn because I'm still 15, and that's like the only porn website I know. And it's free, and that's really all I have to say about that.
I think I always fuck it up. xnxx.com. I see you. Shouts out.
Yeah, I've never used Pornhub, even though that's like the more famous one. I've never tried it. Maybe I'll use Pornhub tonight.
Apparently, it's like shady now to rep them though. For I don't know.
Why?
It's one of those things I've seen on Instagram that got like if someone like posted in their stories like a different thing I was getting yelled at about via someone's like Instagram post where it's like, do you do this because you're fucking up if you do? And it's like, okay. Via
great.
with that specifically, I don't know.
You
I'll have to
you
dig
porn
deep.
it is.
I
just like to watch old ladies making eggs.
Ooh,
That's my porn.
sounds German, and I'm into it. German like breakfast making.
They get up at 3 a.m. to make bagels.
Hey, what up, dude? So I don't really have like a specific question pertaining to the show. God damn it, Sarah. What? Sorry. Pertaining to fatherhood, what's the best stepfather advice you could possibly give? Not that you're in that position anyway. Lucky you. But let's help. Later, man.
As someone who is her in that position, God damn it, Murph. Speaking of sons, I can hear him like he does this thing where he'll like bat at like the door thing, like that, bum, 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 and that's his sign that he like wants a butt scratch. It really depends like on the situation of like where the former or not former where maybe the other parents are and like how involved they are. So because there's like a lot of boundary crossing, I think that you have to like be very mentally aware of no matter what, because you're not. Does that make sense? Like, if the other parent is still like actively involved, like you can't be coming in like Mark Wahlberg in that Two Dad movies where you're just like, I'm the new dad kind of thing. You have to be very like conscious about that shit. And I think same thing that you would do with anyone, just give them, as much love and care and honesty that you can with any other human being that you feel close to.
Word.
I hear like a ghostly knocking on your end of the recording.
I think that was just my roommate taking some trash out.
Oh, it sounded like it sounded very like ghostly. It was like dunk, dunk, dunk.
Nah. Yeah, I am not a stepfather, but I agree with Eric. I think it is about respecting boundaries, respecting that you're not there to replace anyone or fill anyone's shoes. Because even in the case of like a biological parent or whatever birth parent that is not around anymore, that's still like just not your role. It's a different role. You can still be there, and you know what? Let's just as a society take labels a little less seriously anyway, and
Oh
just
hell
be there
yeah!
just be there for each other in our best capacities and not worry so much about like if we're doing it right according to the norms of whatever that label has existed to uphold in the past.
You're an aunt, and I am curious. What is as you're just talking about like kind of stripping away labels, but like what do you feel is like your with your nieces? Like what do you mentally kind of like bring into that relationship? What do you like hope to like offer them in a way that they wouldn't get from their mothers, from your sisters? Out of curiosity.
Oh, I just roasting my sisters mainly. um just yeah. No, I as one of my, I'll call them my nebula because they've chosen to be non-binary, and I can't say nibbling because it sounds like a slur,
Yeah.
even though that is the correct gender neutral term. Uh but that's like we now they call me like almost every day via FaceTime, and especially during the pandemic there's a lot of like loneliness, I think, for kids right now especially.
Mm.
And it's like highly unusual to be in this situation where they're like being kept out of social interactions, and besides that, like I think that was already maybe an issue for them because they were I mean, for whatever reasons, because they have like a lot of intelligence and have most their only child, so it's been like a lot of being around adults. So then when they're around kids, it's like a whole different dynamic for them. So I really just have tried to be there, like to be a friend and to show like interest and just hanging out, and not to necessarily have to be doing anything, but like understanding that like this kid is trapped in a house like by themselves and doesn't really get a lot of playtime, and maybe I'm not always in the mood, but even if I can be like pick up the phone, the FaceTime, and be like, hey, I'm like working on this thing, but if like you don't mind hanging out in the background, we can hang out. And it's been a great way to like stay connected, and it's nice because I've noticed they've started calling me like more and more all day every day, and I love that because I feel like they're actually like, I mean, FaceTime is such a blessing in these times, because they live in New York, so I wouldn't be getting to see them regularly anyway. And um it feels like, my sister, there's so much pressure for her to be like a stay at home like worker and now a mom. I mean, she was a mom before, but like now, like, like
Now
not
more than
having a
ever, she's
yeah,
a
not
mom.
having a nanny, and like also trying to balance like her own needs and her partner's needs, and like having this kid that like needs constant attention and social stimulation, but like it can't all come from my sister, so I'm trying to just like lighten the load in that way and just be like, you know and also what I find really fun about it is like when little things will come up in conversation, like um they asked me, I was wearing a Kilo Tango band shirt the other day, and they
Nice.
asked me
Represent.
yeah, they asked me what it said and what it meant, and I had to explain like, well, my friend is her name is Katie, and she shortens it to KT, and like people when they're trying to, I had to like explain like why letters like Kilo Tango exist in like military or like pilot terms,
Yeah.
and like how they use that to communicate what the letters are because certain letters sound the same, and just explaining like little life stuff like that and like helping them learn. To me, that's like so enriching because I just get to feel like I'm part of their growing up and part of their becoming like a human and understanding the world.
Yeah.
And there's something like super magical about that. And you don't have to have like a blood relationship with someone to do that stuff.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And I do, obviously, but I mean in the step parent case.
Hell, listen, you had to do the same hand walking with me to tell me about that band name, so I am your nephew.
But I really look forward to the day that like as like when in the future there's no pandemic and they're old enough to, hang out and get stoned, and I just am like, hey, come to California and like let's get in some trouble. Not really. But like I look forward to being
JK.
like the aunt that like, like they can blow off some steam and feel like they can tell things. Like my sister was that way for me. She's 12 years older than me. Sorry,
Mhm.
I'm going off on a huge tangent here, but you opened a box here for me. But my sister's 12 years older, and she was totally the one that like I could call when I was in college and I fucked something up, and like because she'd been through all that stuff, and she also had her issues with my mom and like getting into trouble and stuff. So like I totally want to be like that for my uh nebulas, because they, I have fucked up just I how many times every single day. So
Yeah.
I want them to feel like if they ever get into trouble, they have someone they can call.
Yeah. I like that. All right, we got this one here.
Hello. Ah.
That was it. Okay, maybe that was Scotch.
I think that was Scotch.
Okay, give me 1 second here.
Top ramen or instant lunch?
All right. Top ramen or instant lunch? I'm gonna say right now, ramen. I think instant lunch is fucking. Instant lunch is like cup of noodles, right? That's what he's saying.
I think so. I don't know what the difference is, honestly. I'm not a big ramen gal.
Ramen is like, well, he's saying I guess top ramen specifically, which is like the more like kind of the brand everyone knows, like in the orange packets and all that. Well, if you're eating the chicken one at least, which requires like 2 more
Oh.
seconds of like cooking than the other one, where it's literally like the cup the cup one's fucking disgusting. It has like the fake like the dry like peas and carrot chunks in it, and like you just like put the hot water in or you microwave it, and it doesn't really taste like ramen noodles. It tastes more like
It's just salt.
yeah.
I love that
They're
shit.
they're
That's so
both
good.
they're both sodium bombs, honestly. But
Mhm.
in my opinion, like ramen, you can actually like create like other cool shit with it. You can add egg and hot sauce and this and that. You can like turn it into like a feast, like a little micro feast. But the cup of noodles, man, that's just fucking
I feel like if you're eating this meal, you're broke and possibly depressed. So I'm gonna have to go with the other one, the cup of noodles one, because you it's just the most minimal amount of effort. I don't think you really are in a personal space to be chopping vegetables or cracking eggs. It sounds like you need to just or cleaning bowls for that matter, or wiping up the stove. That's all of that just starts to pile on when you're in the headspace where these are the choices that you're wagering. So I say, it's probably not that much worse for you. Just go for the easy one that you can toss in the trash when it's done.
I like your the way you walk to that one.
Thank you. Are we supposed to be hearing this?
The I'm trying to find another question here. My thing kind of goes slow to get to it.
You're
Here we go.
okay.
Black beans or pinto beans?
The people want to know.
Yeah. If I'm cooking at home, black beans every time for some reason, because I like to make that like black bean paste with like a lot of cumin and onions and all that stuff. But if I'm out, I love a good pinto bean.
It's gonna be black beans for me all the way. I love that shit. Gets me every single time. I fuck with it. What do you guys in the chat think? They're saying they're debating the ramen and cup of noodle in there. I think a lot of them are saying ramen. Team ramen is kind of winning over there. All right, we got another text type 1. They want to know, are turtles I just lost it. Sorry, guys. Do you think that turtles are pretentious?
Turtley.
Have you ever seen the Dana Carvey movie?
What? That deserved a much bigger laugh. Maybe not. No, I haven't seen whatever movie you're talking about. What is it?
Dana, the Master of Disguise, where he's like
Yeah.
he's like wears like a turtle costume. And he's like, I'm very turtley. It gets like talked about a lot in there, and it was like a children's movie that Dana Carvey did. And in one scene, like it's all about how he's like kind of looks like a turtle, and he's a part of a turtle club. And on IMDb, there's like a whole section about like how apparently when they were filming that scene was when 9/11 happened, and so like they had to, like shut down the scene. And it's so funny because like learning that and like knowing what that scene is, which is just like it's literally like a grown man pretending to be like a human turtle. And the fact that they had to like shut down like the scene because of 9/11 is very interesting. So yeah, the question was, do you think turtles are pretentious? They do. They're often shown wearing glasses.
You know, I think a lot of creatures that are shy are mistaken for being pretentious.
Mm-hmm.
I think turtles are more likely just a little slower to open up.
What about owls? Do you think owls are pretentious?
Yeah. Definitely.
They're definitely, yeah, they're very academic, but they like to rub it in your face. Like they wear like a
Yeah.
scarf that like they'll say like what Ivy League the owl went to, and
And I feel like they're like master students, you know? Like I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of them like couldn't actually like, you know, they're not actually as smart about anything as they think they are, but they have like really specific knowledge, like where
Yeah.
the voles are at night.
I will say that neck thing they do, that is like a true eccentric like sort of kind of academic thing. That's like your community college professor. You go over to his house and it's a little messy, and he kind of can turn his head like 360 degrees. You know how.
I didn't have that professor.
Well, let's just say that history classes will never be the same. We got another one here. This one's kind of a longer one.
Hey guys,
Hi.
first time caller, fairly new listener, but big time fangirl. I actually am just calling in because I'm looking for your opinion, and it's great that you're a male-female team because it will be nice to have both perspectives. I'm just going to go out there and say it and ask it. It's butt stuff. So I recently started talking to this guy, and our sexual chemistry is out of control, and we're super comfortable with each other already. And we're talking about what we're into, and he expresses that he likes a little tongue action, you know, he likes a little rim job. And I'm totally okay with that because I like the same. However, he doesn't manscape. He doesn't manscape like anything really. And so I'm not opposed to going down there and doing my thing, but like, there's something about it being like that hairy. Like, I don't know how to like tell him that. Should I just, you know, go for it anyway? Like he's a clean person, like, or, you know, should I express that? It's, you know, as much as I say that I can like have those strong feelings and like I can be communicative about what I want and everything, as soon as it gets down to it, I kind of like puss out and I can't bring myself to like ask him to do something like that. I don't know why. What are your thoughts? I'm interested to know. All right, guys. Thanks so much.
I just real quickly before we jump into it, Scotch in the chat says, "Eat that hairball, eat that hairball butt," which is it's a great fucking comment. Scotch, I see you.
I feel like if Seinfeld was on in 2020, like this is the kind of episode that it would be about.
Jerry.
Yeah.
He doesn't manscape. Jerry,
Or
not a
this-
manscape.
Yeah, like, or this would be a episode of Sex and the City.
I feel like that must have been. I'm surprised that there wasn't. But I can't recall one where they talked about that.
Yeah, because they did some controversial. They did have a butt licking episode, and it was Miranda, and she didn't like it. And I feel like you only ever see in entertainment like women receiving rim jobs and not giving them.
Mm-hmm.
And to be completely honest, I have never given one. I personally wouldn't because I don't even like making out with someone after they've done that to me. I'm like, you nasty. That's my booty hole. Um, just like keep a little mouthwash on the nightstand, like at the dentist's office, and it's like that antibiotic rinse.
Yeah, like that bowl that you can spit into, like.
Or I'll just have that suction
Yeah.
thing in his mouth after. But my serious reply is I think if I were in this situation, I totally relate to that. Like being like, oh, I'm so open and mature and I'm like can talk about anything, but then it actually like when it comes down to brass tacks, like sexual stuff is really hard to talk about with people because you don't want to hurt someone's feelings, you don't want to make someone feel gross, and you don't want to like expose your own vulnerabilities, and then you don't want to like lose this new partner over something stupid. But what I would probably do, honestly, is just like next time, if it happened, like next time before you have sex, be like, do you want to take like a really sexy shower? And
Yeah.
just like really get in there. And then like maybe he'll get the point.
You like smuggle in like a razor, like as if you're in prison, like she's choking up like a Gillette, like she's just like in there.
Yeah. Or sorry, my
Yeah.
last idea is just like, I don't know, just like have fun with it maybe and like make a joke of it because I feel like you kind of have to make a joke out of stuff like this and just be like, hey, like I shaved my legs, can you shave your asshole?
Yeah, I think that you're absolutely right where it's like in general it's so hard, especially in the beginning of a relationship and like everything else is like connecting so well. It can be very vulnerable to like make the request where you're like, there is one thing that does not jive with me and that's your fucking hairy butt. But I would say, man, if he wants you doing that, like I feel like that's a big request and you know, uh we're all into it, but if he's making that request then it's like, hey, I got requests of my own and that's, keep a clean fucking asshole.
Yeah, I mean if you were charging, you could like double your price for that kind of action.
I like your idea. I think that's
just ask him for money.
Shit.
No, don't do that. That will ruin your relationship.
I actually like your idea. I think that you should like try to like tie it into like a fun like, hey, what if we like took a shower and like we came out like better, more clean versions of ourselves. Like
Yeah, I mean it's like at the end of the day it's not going to be subtle, but you might as well like make it fun. There's no subtle way to ask someone to shave their asshole. But you can make light of it, and I think like also, then follow it up with being like, I don't know, is there anything that you want me to how do you want my body hair? Yeah. No, that's a big thing for me too. Like whenever I date someone, I personally like despise facial hair on dudes, but like if a guy I'm dating is sporting facial hair, like you'll never find me really saying anything because I personally would be so annoyed or offended if some guy was like, you haven't shaved your legs in like 5 days, whatever. Yeah. Like that pussy's looking a little bushy. Like I would just be like,
you wouldn't appreciate that it rhymed.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. So I try not to then impose my own, like choices over someone else. But then if it's like getting dirty or if it's gross, like I will at some point be like, hey, I spent like an hour and a half getting ready today because I shaved my whole fucking body and I blow dried and straightened my hair and I tweezed my eyebrows and I did my makeup. Like, could you maybe put some effort into like your hygiene? And you say he's clean, so it's like that's not the deal. But yeah, I mean, maybe he just has no idea and there's no need to embarrass him.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I think there is a strong possibility that he doesn't even like think about that. So maybe give him a taste of his own mess and bring in like an even hairier guy. Be like, hey, you need to do this to him. And then he understands.
I have an idea.
Okay.
You write him a note, like a fortune cookie. Telling him that he needs to shave his asshole, and you roll it up really tiny, and then you put it
Leave
in
it in there?
your asshole.
Oh, so he discovers it. He's like,
So
what's
when he
going on
goes to
here?
give you a rim job, he finds the little note, but then you did it in such a cute way.
Yeah.
He can't be mad.
Like, I'll make a little like haiku or like a little like 2-second like poem out of it, and then like on the back you still have like the lottery number things like 7, 14. I will say, you know, Katya, everyone's favorite Russian hooker from RuPaul's Drag Race. She was on RuPaul's podcast, and she told this hilarious story where she's like, "Yeah, I met," because she loves to give them, and she talked about how she like met this random dude at a bar, and they went up to her hotel room, and she like checked out his situation. She was telling RuPaul like, she's like, I'm bold about it at this point. She's like, I'll check them out and I'll be like, nope, we're getting in the shower and I'm shaving that because I want to like lick down there and it needs to be clean. And I was like, that's like
Yeah.
someone who's gone to a lot of therapy and just knows how to like really get to his boundaries across.
Well, and I like that approach because you're also still being like, I'm really interested in this, and
Mhm.
like I still think you're hot. And I think the fear behind maybe what you're feeling about talking to this guy is just like, yeah, he might think that you're less attracted to him over it, which is obviously not the case. But that's like our first thing when someone has like a critique or a comment about like the way we're presenting ourselves, especially if it has to do with an intimate area like your butthole. It's easy. Like I could see myself kind of shutting down if someone made that kind of commentary to me in
Oh,
the
yeah.
wrong way.
It's definitely a minefield to to broach that kind of shit in the beginning. And I don't want to be like, oh, because he's a guy, like it should be easier. But like, hopefully, it might be a little bit easier for you to bring it on him, because I really think that there's probably a strong possibility that he just has never had to think about that. Maybe like with previous, he probably had like there's plenty of freaks out there who, I don't want to say freaks, but there are plenty of people who they love them a hairy person, and there's a good chance that maybe like he had partners like praise him in the past and they're like, more hair, more hair. So
Yeah.
who knows?
I hope that these people are able to listen to this episode, but it is going on our Patreon.
Yeah. You'll never know.
Well,
Yeah.
it's gonna be on our YouTube, right?
Yeah, I'll be on the YouTube. So
Okay.
come find us. We got one more text type one, and it's someone who's kind of fucked with me because a couple people that was like, just reach out to like, hey, you should hit our thing. And like a couple people had asked me like, what kind of questions? And the one I just kept randomly kind of throwing out there was like, what kind of fast food? What you could just ask something stupid like, what's your favorite fast food joint? And then my friend sent to the to the hotline, what is our favorite fast food chain? So, Caitlin, what
That
do you
was a whirlwind of mumbling that
I
you just
know,
did.
it's
But
it's the end of the work week. It's the end of my evening. What can
No,
I say?
it's okay.
I die down.
I was thinking we should just like subtly move our time up to 9 p.m. now during the winter months, because I was
Yeah.
struggling to stay up till 10 today.
It is so crazy that you sent that text, because I literally was just thinking, my God, it feels like it's fucking like 1 a.m. right now. And then you sent that text that was like, is it midnight?
It was 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Favorite
what-
fast food, Del Taco.
I had a feeling we must have done this before. I had a feeling you were gonna say that. Really, what's your go-to there?
I get the crunchy, like just the Del Tacos, but I get beans instead of meat. Although I think they now have like Impossible meat. And sometimes I'll get like a bean and cheese burrito, and then of course I get their crinkly fries because those are the fucking shit.
Crinkly fries.
Crinkly.
I love me Wendy's, and I love Taco Bell.
Oh, Eric.
Can I say their bean burritos are fucking good?
Well, apparently Wendy's is like hardcore Trump.
Oh really?
People, yeah. But
I
I
like
mean, it's like
probably
who's
all
saying
of
Del
them.
Taco's not? Yeah.
I will say my least favorite is fucking Burger King. I think their shit tastes like fucking cardboard, and
It is really bad.
I never understand people who are like who support fucking Burger King. I think it all tastes like absolute fucking shit.
I do love some Wendy's as much as whatever we're supposed, I don't know. They're like just being able to get a baked potato when if you're like on a
Yeah.
long road trip and you've just like been eating nothing but trash, like having an actual like vegetable just handed to you cooked is really nice.
Their
And
chili is
also
so good.
and Frosties. Oh my
Yeah.
god, Frosties.
All their shit tastes like whether regardless if it isn't, it all tastes like somewhat fresh. If you get like that fucking baked potato and the chili, couple of the spicy nugs and that frosty, like it all tastes just like super fucking. I know. I'm just thinking like right after I shut this down, I'm like, I wonder if my girl Wendy is outside.
Sir, this is a Wendy's.
When is
Shout
that
out
not-
Michael Stott.
Yeah, when is that not fun? That's it. We went through
Wow.
all of our questions this evening.
It was a perfect hour of television.
Absolutely. Before we, I guess, say our goodnights, as we always do, is there anything that you learned this evening?
No, I don't think so. No, what did I learn? I learned your favorite fast foods. I learned which chipmunk is which. I I started a question about accessories.
Oh my gosh, did we ever even answer that?
Dodged and
Chang.
bobbed that one. I learned that we have some really fun, awesome listeners.
Yeah. Perfect. Well, on that note, thank you to our Patreon supporters, and thank you to all the people that were listening to this and following us live in the YouTube chat. I could barely read like most of your screen names, so I don't really know who was in there, but I did see you, Scotch, and
Why
I
are
see
they
a couple
small?
of people. They're small, and even with my glasses, it's hard for me to see kind of far away with my laptop over there. But I know you're all friends and family, and we love you. And on that note, I'm going to say good night. Good night, Caitlin.
Classic sign off by Eric. Good night, Eric.